and of course scalability. And so if you look at, back over the last year, it was already mentioned that we shouldn't forget the lessons that we've learned. So what are some of the key lessons that you've learned? And it's maybe also interesting to know what are some of the limitations that you encountered. And
you can't be green with a red bottom line. So I think that's a great comment that I'll certainly take away from our session here. How these things integrate together, the complexity of the solutions, I think is something that is both an opportunity and a challenge. And so if you look at one thing that Peter talked about in his triangle is the energy in and the elements that are there. A lot of these facilities that we're looking at, if we balance capital efficiency with carbon intensity, how do we do that effectively? Power sources, how do you manage those loads? Which ones are dispatched? What's the brains behind how those systems run and communicate in order to into single facilities?
We discussed in advance. Translate this question.
Yeah, first of all, I must say, while COMUNITY is accelerated several years in just months. As companies we work with, they use the technology, the digital twins, if you will, to do a lot more things onshore, and in inspection.
We've seen this big shift on focus on digital, these large digitalization programs. I really hear the word people fall here. What's the deployment of this? Any other critical elements?
It's not about technology. It is really about what's the business sense that's behind it. Earlier we were talking about not only efficiency but effectiveness. So you got to do the right thing, and you got to do it a little bit more efficient. So starting off with a business sense.